Why does my partner say yes to what we discuss, but then they do not follow through? And if you have that issue in your relationship, you are likely married or in a relationship with a phlegmatic. If you tend to experience the not following through or forgetting what you and your partner agreed, you are possibly a phlegmatic with that trait of agreeing but not planning to follow through. We are going to be talking about that. My name is Kariuki, a marriage and family therapist, and very passionate in helping you understand your mental wellness, because your mental wellness impacts how you show up in your relationship. So today we continue talking about the phlegmatic temperament. This is a question that is asked a lot, and I encounter it a lot in my couples therapy sessions. These are people who are married, and one of them is a choleric, has a choleric trait, and the other one has a phlegmatic trait. So what happens is that your partner who is phlegmatic, the reason why you are unable to follow through and you are criticized quite a bit about that is because of the trait you have as a phlegmatic of a fear of conflict, because opposites attract. You as a phlegmatic, you are attracted to the more extroverted choleric and the melancholic because they are quick to decision making, they are passionate about what needs to be happening. So they complement your natural tendency to be calm, quiet, and collected, not in a hurry, taking things deliberately, while your partner may be very passionate about things. So they tend to complement you as a phlegmatic who is going to be slow to think through things. The slowness of the phlegmatic is not necessarily all bad. It's because it is usually going to be covered by the quickness or the passion of their partner who is probably a choleric. And you as a choleric or a melancholic, you are attracted to the phlegmatic because of their calmness, that they are your calm in the sea during the storm. And so when you start to do life together, there will be that conflict, there will be that disparity of energies when it comes to decision making, resolutions of conflict, and also how you communicate. How you communicate is usually the choleric is very highly passionate about that communication space. They are clear about what they want. They are quick about how they want things to happen, while the phlegmatic will be more deliberate and steady. They are waiting, they are going to want time to think through things. But because of the fact that the phlegmatic is constantly afraid or avoiding of arguments and of fights, what they will do, they will not listen. They will not hear what the urgency, or they will not hear the need to move quickly. And so when these energies come together, then what happens, there will be a conflict of goal setting in terms of what is the goal, in terms of when does the goal get accomplished and how. So it's important to understand yourself as a phlegmatic. The reason you may be experienced by your partner in those ways is because you need some time to be able to regroup and reduce the adrenaline that has been triggered in your system, and the cortisol, which are the stress hormones. Allow yourself to take some time to calm down. But then don't forget that the reason you had the conversation with your partner is because there was an issue that needed to be resolved. Because then what happens, your goal as a phlegmatic becomes the end of the conflict, not the resolution of the issue. So what I would need to help you do is to, first of all, take care of the high levels of anxiety that your conversation with your partner has triggered. And then number two, move away from resentment and quickly go into problem solving. Remind yourself, what was the issue? And then allow yourself to do a specific time where you think about the issue and the possible solutions, so that you can be able to come back to your partner and tell them what we talked about. This is what I'm thinking. At that point, you are the one in control. You can use that space of you initiating the conversation in a way where you can even set how the conversation is going to be. Or you can communicate by creating boundaries where you are saying, I want us to talk about the situation that you brought up yesterday, and I would like for us to do it calmly. So if you can allow me to speak until I finish, please do not interrupt me. Let me finish the thought process. Let me tell you what I think about the issue. I heard what you said, how you want the issue resolved, and you can repeat to them what you had, because you just blocked because you got angry and you got resentful of the way the conversation went. Allow them, be the one in control, to communicate in a way that you're going to be heard by saying, I heard what you said and I know this is the issue we have. You can also talk about your own struggle in having the issue resolved, so that now you have set the boundaries on how this conversation is going to go, so you avoid going back into the hiding or into the avoidance, so that you can collaborate with them. Now, if you get to a place where your partner is unable to stay calm and it begins to again trigger you to feel anxiety and anger and resentment, instead of walking away just like that, allow them to hear you by saying, now you are beginning to shout and I am starting to feel that I don't want to be in this space. So either you're going to just be quiet and allow me to finish, or we end the conversation. Now you are being in a space where you are using logic, you're not emotionally communicating. And that way, then your partner has a choice. And if they don't again respect the boundary that you are setting, now it's time for you to say, well, I can see you are not in a situation or in a space where we can talk about this calmly, so I'm going to walk away and I will talk to you again about this issue when you are calmer. Now, I usually say, if you are unable to get your partner to calm down, as a phlegmatic, communicate through writing, not texts. I'm talking about creating an email or creating a space where you can explain what you think the option to the problem that brought the argument. Phlegmatics, if they can be able to manage and regulate their anxiety, they can be very logical and to the point and very rational. Fortunately, as a phlegmatic, your rationality turns into sarcasm or contempt, or it can be very cold. So you can use your rational ability to resolve problems with your partner, but stay in you are also an empathetic person. Stay in the empathy and stay in the compassion space and the kindness space. Don't go into the now cutting your partner down with words. If a phlegmatic continues in this space of unresolved conflicts, what they do, they really develop a callous way of dealing with people. But they are usually the people who they will cut you while they are smiling, and it can be very confusing and damaging to your relationship. If you, as a phlegmatic who continually is finding yourself not following through with what you agree with your partner, I believe that you can be helped. You can develop the skills and don't end up now avoiding, because if you are a man, what happens is that you start to avoid being with your partner. You start to avoid coming home. You stay out late. Some people have gotten into drinking and other drugs and other things, or just getting themselves in a lot of business seeking money to stay away from the home. But also you might find yourself in an infidelity because you are looking for harmony, you are looking for peace, you want to be heard, but you are feeling that you cannot break through the gridlock within your relationship. So reach out to me to get more personalized help. I've helped a lot of people who found themselves stuck in these spaces of personality and temperament weaknesses, and they have been able to break through that so that they can create the kind of relationships they desire. So until next time, continue to live by design.